Thank you so much to Jennifer J. Fondrevay for joining the podcast and sharing those wonderful stories of her mom, Olivia, and the lessons she's learned. Jennifer can be found on LinkedIn, Jennifer Fondrevay. I'll post a link to her. She's also on YouTube. I'll post that as well. Video is wonderful. She is such a fantastic person. I really can't thank her enough. She was so generous with her time, and she really is caring. And if your company is going through some sort of situation where there is a merger and acquisition, or you just want to meet an interesting person, please reach out to Jennifer. On that note, I want to talk to you for a minute about my aunt. I don't have a lot of pictures of Aunt Lynn. She wasn't one that enjoyed the camera much. She was the cool aunt. She was the one who you could talk to, and she'd kind of fill you out a little bit, and then she'd say something like, "Well, are you dating her, or is she a whore?" And you always just laughed at it. She never actually meant it, but she was just funny like that. She was also the very fun aunt. She not only threw Mardi Gras parties every year, famous for the beads and insanely strong hurricanes. She traveled the world, and she loved it. She went to Mardi Gras, I think, numerous times. She also took every niece and nephew to Las Vegas when we turned 21. My favorite story from that was, this is May of 2009. I'm a senior in college, for a couple of weeks before Michael Jackson died, and that will become somewhat important in a minute. So I walk in this casino. We were staying at Excalibur. So anyone's been to Vegas knows Excalibur. It just reeks of smoke. People just pulling those machines nonstop. It's fun. And walk in, and I went through like a back door, and I was like, I had a great night. I think I made like $150. I think I gave like a $5 bill to the person vacuuming. That was my mood. I had a bunch of drinks, didn't lose my butt. Like, what a great night. And I walk in, and there's one person at the video poker, my aunt. So I walk towards her. She's slowly dragging a cigarette. She looks at me and goes, "Don't tell your father." For those who don't know, my aunt was the older sister of my father by about 10 months. I didn't know she smoked. She probably did a lot. I think she quit for like 10, 15 years. Quit maybe. And she looks at me, she was like, "Don't tell your father." At the time, I was way more of a bro than I am now, although I guess depending on how you feel about the podcast, you might disagree with that. At the time, I occasionally dip tobacco, and I had I had a lipper I had the tin, and I showed her. I said, "Don't tell my father." We both just burst out laughing. I sat there for about another hour, hour and a half with her, just sipping a drink, playing a little bit of video poker, talking about the night. And I just missed it, but about half an hour earlier, Joe Jackson came in to Excalibur and was like, "Rah, rah, rah, rah," taking pictures of people and just being completely insane. That was about 2 weeks before Michael died. So I just missed Joe Jackson, but more importantly, I got to spend that entire time with my aunt. When she got sick, I thought she'd get out. We had a phone call maybe about a month ago, and she's like, "Eric, I'm never getting out of this hospital." And I try to stay positive. I'm a pretty positive guy. I'm like, "No, you'll be fine. Drinks will flow." And she's like, "I'm not getting out of here." And then I saw her before she passed, and then I saw her in that casket, and I saw the pictures. I remembered our memories together, and I just felt like she's gonna be buried. Pictures, the few we had, would be lost, and the memories fade over time. My dad gave this wonderful eulogy where he talked about how they walked to school all the time. They talked. That's one of the things that my dad and I do all the time. We walk and talk. Then we walk the dog. He always, after soccer, would I'd pass to him, he'd run ahead, talk to me, and then he pass, I'd run ahead, and we always talk during that. It's one of the reasons I like walking meetings. Also, meetings stink. Actually, stink's not a strong enough word. Meetings suck. You should always walk around, get some fresh air, but I love to do that. And I think one of the reasons is because my dad, because he did it with my aunt. And stories like that help me connect the dots in my own life. And I think for those of you out there that are looking for some meaning right now, whether you've lost a relative, a job, or something completely different, taking that time to really find those memories and find the things that connect the dots. Because now when I look at my dad, I can see my aunt, and I know that those activities they did when they were together, when I'm with him, I can remember her. And there's so many other things that she did. She was so wonderful. And Tamlin, I love you, and I will always miss you. And to anyone out there who's lost a loved one or is going through a tough time right now, find a way to connect those dots, because it's helped me out. And also take Jennifer's advice. Thank you so much for tuning in. You are all wonderful people. I love you all very much, and I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're listening to this. And if you do enjoy it, please subscribe, leave comments, usually positive ones ideally. But if you have constructive feedback, I'll take that too. Thank you again, and take care. Bye.